All right, so I didn't script this video or nothing. Uh, I'm just gonna start speaking. I was just on a run, and I have a route that I run. It's only like a mile. I think I run around like it's a bridge that I go over, and then I run up to another bridge, and I go over that bridge. And once you make a circle around, that's a mile. And so I did about like 2 miles today. I wasn't trying to do more than that, but it's another longer route that I take. It's about 2 miles out, and then I have a turnaround point, and it's 2 miles back. So that's about 4 miles, which is about like I think 8 clicks, um, maybe more or maybe less, like 7 clicks or something. So anyway, I have routes that I run out here, and I'm in rural Japan. So the route that I take, it goes the long route when I'm doing like 4 miles. It's the turnaround point is I have to go past these rice fields, and then it's a turnaround point, which is the wood line. So like going to that wood line, that's like almost exactly on the money, 2 miles from where I live. And then from there I turn around. Or sometimes there I'll do some sprints and stuff like 100-meter sprints. And it's easy to do 100 meters to kind of gauge the distance and stuff. Like when I was in the army, I learned my pace count, because if you do land navigation, you have to learn your pace count. So you got to learn how many paces it takes for you to make 100 meters. And it takes, for me, it takes 65 paces, 65, 64 paces, and that's 100 meters for me. So I walked out 65 paces, and I was like, okay, I kind of marked where the 100-meter was, and then went back and I ran. Sometimes I do 100 meters. But anyway, on that route by the rice fields, right? This is the crazy thing. There, near the rice fields, there's a shrine. And I'm saying this to people: if you're a Christian and stuff, you go to other countries, you kind of got to be cognizant of different uh, religious sites and stuff like that. You can ignore what I'm saying, but I'm just telling you my experience. Um, when I was in Sendai, I went to the Daikanan, which is like this big statue in Sendai. Like I seen it on when I was in the United States on Facebook, and I was like, man, I would like to see that thing. And so here it is. I was in Sendai in Japan, and I went. I was like, I had to do something at immigration, and so I was like, well, since I'm here, I might as well drive. I drive, so I was like, I might as well drive up to the Daikanan, and I went to the Daikanan, and big statue. It was a sight to see. But when I went in to the Daikanan, I just kind of felt like I didn't belong there. It was like kind of an eerie feeling and stuff, because something was telling me, okay, you've seen it, now you can leave. But then I was like, well, I want to be more adventurous. I want to go inside and see what this is all about. I don't want to tell people I've been there. They go, oh, did you go inside? And then I'm, oh no, I didn't go inside. So I went inside and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, I had this eerie feeling the whole time, and that's like a religious site. And I'm not dissing nobody else's religion or culture. Well, I'm just gonna keep it real. As a Christian, you probably don't need to be at religious sites like that, because that's Buddhism, and you don't know what spiritual principality is behind that. But I know when I was in a daikana, I did not feel comfortable. So I just kind of went in, and I left. Uh, and some of the statues, they have like the zodiac, Japanese zodiac, I guess it is, and the Hindu zodiac, because Japanese Shinto, I think Shintoism has some Hindu influences. So they had the Hindu gods in there and stuff like that. And I think the Daikana statue is Hindu, a Hindu goddess or something. But anyway, when I was looking at the little statues, because you walk around and then you go into the elevator. So you walk around like this circle, and it has all the zodiac statues carved out of wood. And then you go into the elevator, and you're supposed to go to the 10th floor, or all the way up to the top, and then walk down and stuff. And I was just like, something was just bothering me about that. And I get back to it. But anyway, when I was running by the rice fields, every time I go over by the rice fields, right, I always have this eerie feeling. Like I just don't feel comfortable over there. And usually I'm the type of person I ignore my feelings. I'm just more of a rational thinker type person, more logic first. And I really ignore my feelings and stuff like that. And so when I would run through the rice fields, I always would have this feeling like I didn't belong there. It was something like just eerie. But one time, like my first time going over there, I went up to, it was a shrine. And I went up to the shrine, but I didn't go inside the shrine. I just looked at it. I just wanted to see it, so I could say, hey, I saw it. And then I went back and stuff, and I did my sprints, and ran all the way back to my house and stuff. And I was like, well, maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe it's just in my head or something. But then every time I would go back there, I would have this eerie feeling by the rice fields. So what happened was, when it's cold, I don't run, but it's starting to warm up, so I run again. ran back over there, had the same eerie feeling. But one time I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I was just telling her, I was like, yeah, by these rice fields and stuff, always had this eerie feeling, like I feel like I'm gonna fall off the earth. It feels like when I look up in the sky, I feels like the earth is gonna turn upside down, and I'm just gonna fall into the sky. It's just this eerie feeling. All sorts of stuff. And then when I'm running back, when I'm leaving the rice fields, I make it to the wood line, and then I'm running all the way back, right? But I still got to run through those rice fields. And it's a road too. So I run down this road through the rice fields, but it's like I more so when I get to the middle, I always feel this eerie feeling like a giant bird gonna come out from the wood line and like a pterodactyl or something try to pick me up, or it's just some type of eerie feeling. And then one time I seen crows, and I don't know why, I just seen this one crow. I think it was a raven or a crow or whatever. It was just kind of staring at me, and I just kind of knew how sometimes like bad spirits can being bird. It's a connection between sometimes bad spirits and or birds. Like in scripture, it says that don't curse the king, even in your mind, because a bird of the air might carry the message or something like that. It says something like that in the scripture. Um, and when Abraham was doing the sacrifice to God, and he cut the animals and split them, these birds came down, was trying to mess with the sacrifice. Now, why are these birds messing with the sacrifice? He was shooing them away. He was fighting them. So I learned something deeper about that those birds were actual evil spirits and stuff. And so I guess that was in my mind when I saw that crow just kind of staring at me. I just felt like every time I go over to by there, it's like an intersection. And it's once I pass the intersection that now I'm in the rice fields. I'm going to the rice fields to the wood line. And it's about like 400 meters or maybe 500 meters to the wood line, which is like half a kilometer. It's in the middle though that I feel them like eerie. And so I was talking to my mom about it. She was like, well, did you do research and stuff like that? I kind of put that in my mom's head to always do research now. So she kind of fed me back what I always tell her. And so I looked up the shrine that's close by, right? And the shrine it's this god over that Japanese people worship in Shintoism called, I forgot his name. His name started with an 8. Like you said, the way you say 8 in Japan is Hachi. Hachi. And so I did some research on that shrine and the god that they believe in, and they said that they said that this is the god over rice. And I was like, dude, I was in a rice field, and not only is it the god over rice, but it's the god over upside down or something. It's something like upside down. But basically, when I did the research on this god, everything that I was feeling, that's what I learned about this god, and everything I was feeling, it coincided with what I researched on this deity. And I'm telling you, it's more so in the middle of that rice field. So when I'm in the middle of that rice field, that's when I feel it the strongest and stuff like that. Like I feel like if I look into the sky, I'm gonna fall into the sky, or everything will turn upside down. And everything when I did research on this Shinto god, it's the protector of Japan and stuff like that. That's the feeling. The feeling of not belonging, the feeling of upside down, or the eerie feeling like something's watching me, or something's gonna some bird gonna attack me or something. It was something like that. But I'm telling you spiritually, like I guess I'm spiritually discerning this, that it's in the middle of that field. It's in the middle. So if it's if from the intersection to the wood line is 500 meters. I say 250 meters in, that's where it is. And I always felt eerie in that area. But I'm saying this to say, I guess when you go to other countries, especially if you're a Christian, you might want to be aware of different holy sites in that country or wherever their religious beliefs is. You probably don't need to go in there. You probably want to avoid temples and stuff like that. I know it seems like you just, exploring and being adventurous, but this is just a warning for me. You probably don't need to be in those places and stuff. Or, definitely pray, that God protects you where you're going, like traveling grace and stuff like that, because you just never know, man. But, yeah, like I said, when I did the research on this Shinto god, all the things that is said about the Shinto god is the things that I was feeling in that rice field. It's the god over rice. It's the god that protects Japan. It's the god that over upside down. It says something about upside down. I got to do more research into it. But everything, I was feeling that. And I was talking to my mom about it. She was like, yo, I mean, we were tripped out because I explained to her what I was feeling first. And then I researched it as I was talking to her on the phone. And then everything just came right to light. And I was like, no wonder. But I just wanted to bring that up. When you go to other countries, no matter what country you're going to, if you're a Christian, especially, you might want to avoid temples. You probably don't need to be there. So this is just a warning. So yeah, I'm in the video right here. But anyway, take care. God bless, and pray for traveling grace. Later.